Hey guys, Frightener22 here, and welcome back to another installment of Frightener22's Saturday Night Movie Drive-In. Please excuse the lack of, the usual Saturday Night Movie Drive-In setup, but I just had a lack of finding all the materials that I normally use to set up my table around, so this is a little bit more of a stripped-down version of Saturday Night Movie Drive-In, but nonetheless, we have a really kick-ass film up for review tonight, and the two best things about this whole thing is that I'm actually going to be reviewing the newly released special edition of the film, and the other cool thing is that this is actually the first time I've ever actually seen this film. So without further ado, we're going to be taking a look at 1986's The Wraith. This film is incredibly awesome. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever actually viewed this film, but I'm just so excited to talk about it, and coming off the heels of just watching it, I just, can't wait to just explain just how awesome this movie is. Now, for starters, this film stars the likes of Charlie Sheen, Nick Cassavetes, Sherilyn Fenn, and Randy Quaid, along with Clint Howard. Now, this film deals with a gang of road pirates who pretty much force people into drag racing them, and, they're just really dangerous, deadly punks on the road. So it isn't until this mysterious driver comes along in this crazy, awesome car that would, that makes Kit from Knight Rider look like a complete pussy. So this, this mysterious driver comes along in order to clean up and take care of these, punks once and for all, and to reclaim the love of this girl. So that's basically the nutshell version of the plot without giving too much away. And I had first heard about this movie just a few weeks ago, actually, when I was, browsing, the newly released DVDs that are, were on their way out, and I saw that Lionsgate was releasing this special edition of the film, and I was like, The Wraith, 1986, Charlie Sheen, Sherilyn Fenn, Clint Howard, all sounds good. I can't believe I've never seen this one, just really fell through the cracks. Well, evidently the original DVD was long out of print, and Lionsgate being just a huge consumer of really awesome classic films, horror films, and, cult films in general, decided to go along and put out a special edition of the film. So, lo and behold, thanks to, all my luck, I, was able to secure a copy of this at Walmart for a mere $15, and just tonight I finally popped into the DVD player to watch it, and I instantaneously changed around the schedule for Saturday Night Movie Drive-In just to review this film. I had another film in the pipeline that I actually viewed the other day, and I'll probably review that film in the future, a future episode of Saturday Night Movie Drive-In, but after viewing The Wraith, I knew that I just had to review this film for Saturday Night Movie Drive-In, because it is so fucking badass, man. I mean, my buddy Geologist from the Gut Munchers board was telling me about this film and told me that I was going to love it so much, and how, I had to make this movie a Saturday night, movie drive-in review. But after, viewing it for myself, I couldn't have agreed more. This film is just awesome to the max. If you guys have never seen this, absolutely just go out there and secure this special edition, because it's friggin' great. The plot overall is just something really cool, and while I was watching this, I know this might be somewhat of a reach, but I couldn't help but feel that maybe Tarantino may have borrowed elements of this for his Grindhouse installment, Death Proof, because I just find that, this mysterious driver, the Wraith in this, is actually using his futuristic car to inadvertently kill the members of the gang. So, I mean, like I said, it is kind of a bit of a reach, but, Tarantino likes to, borrow or, become, overly inspired by a lot of, cult or, exploitation films from the 70s well into the 80s and whatnot. So I was just wondering if maybe, the fact that this car was being used as, more of a weapon than anything else, just kind of made, reminded me of maybe, Tarantino may have been, somewhat inspired by the Wraith to, use that death proof, like I said, it is maybe a massive reach, but, upon viewing it, think about Death Proof in mind, see if anybody else makes that connection. I hope that I'm not the only one, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Now, moving on, the cast in this is really awesome. Like I said, you got Charlie Sheen in it, who actually plays the character of Jake as this new kid in town that kind of rolls along and moves in on the gang leader, Nick Cassavetes' girl, played by Sherilyn Fenn. Everybody in this movie is really awesome. Nick Cassavetes, This is before the Wraith. The only acting role that I actually really connected him with was 1997's Face Off. But in later years, he's actually become a pretty profitable director, directing such films as The Notebook and Alpha Dog. So yeah, he's kind of done a lot of big things in his career other than just acting. So good for him. Moving on, the female interest in this, Sherilyn Fenn was always a favorite of mine. Seeing her in this film from 1986 is just great because just a year prior, in 1985, she actually acted in one of my all-time favorite comedies of all time, Just One of the Guys. If you guys haven't seen that one, absolutely check that one out. It's a great flick. You also get Randy Quaid playing the sergeant of the town that all this is happening in, and it's just really funny seeing somebody like Randy Quaid playing, a cop character. But I mean, I guess that kind of goes for anything. I mean, Randy Quaid, of course, is a gifted actor, but I'm just I'm one of the many that I feel like anything that you see him, and it's really hard to separate him from his infamous Cousin Eddie role from the Vacation movies. I mean, like you see him in a movie like The Wraith where he's playing a cop, and then you fast forward to 2005 where he's playing acting in a role in a film like Brokeback Mountain. But even over the years and seeing him act in so many films, it's just really hard to separate him from anything but Cousin Eddie. But he plays the sergeant role and he does what he has to do in this film. So overall he's pretty decent. And like I had mentioned earlier in the review, you also get Clint Howard playing a geeky car mechanic that kind of tags along with the biker gang, which is pretty cool because Clint Howard's always a good time. He acted in one of my favorite films of all time, 1979's Rock and Roll High School. And if you guys hark back to the first season of Saturday Night Movie Drive-In, you can see my review on that film as well. But this film was just really cool. I mean, just right from the get-go, everything is just awesome. I mean, there's just tons of cool 80s access, excess in it. You just got a lot of, great fashion, that just, screams 80s. A killer fucking soundtrack to boot. I mean, the soundtrack in this film is probably, other than, just the 80s, fucking coolness in this film, the soundtrack is what really, drives it home for anybody that loves these types of movies. You get a soundtrack that uses the likes of Billy Idol, Robert Palmer, Ozzy Osbourne, and Motley Crue. Now, with names like that on a soundtrack, how do you not just kind of like bop your head and just kind of get into the groove during, the scenes in this movie? I mean, all these songs are used at the best times possible during all these, like, really cool drag races and, all these stylistic, shots in it during these drag races, so the music just really matches with the intensity of all these races going on in the film, so it works perfectly. This is just a soundtrack that really needs to be hunted down, but from what I understood through my research, the soundtrack's been out of print for years, so if you can, find a way to just kind of make a bootleg or just make, your own personal mixtape by downloading a song here and a song there, I would highly recommend it, because the soundtrack in this is to die for. It is really solid. Now, as cool and as awesome as this film is, a sad thing that actually happened on the set is that during the filming of actually one of the infamous car chases, an assistant cameraman was actually killed and another crew member was critically injured. And at the end of the film, there's actually a title at the end that's the film is actually dedicated to the cameraman that was killed in the process of this film. So for a kick-ass film, it is really a sad note to hear that something that tragic happened during the making of this great film. But overall, this is absolutely a fun flick from 1986 that cannot be missed. So if you guys are really craving for something really cool this weekend, I would absolutely run out to your nearest Walmart or Best Buy and pick up 1986's The Wraith. This is certainly an underrated gem that has gone throughout the years, just kind of underrated and unnoticed for so long. But thanks to Lionsgate for releasing this special edition DVD, you guys can actually witness the fun all for yourself. This has got tons of special features on it, so I would highly recommend you guys going out and checking out this kick-ass film. I know you guys won't be disappointed. As always, thanks again for tuning in to Frightener 22's Saturday Night Movie Drive-In, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again.